Okay, welcome to the continuation of binary adder concepts. Okay, as we discussed in the previous video, so we can able to implement a full adder using this expression. The carry is given by the expression in terms of a, b, and c in. So this is how we can write it, and this can be further written by taking c in as a common factor, ab plus c in into a plus b, and of course sum can be written as this expression. This will certainly satisfy the expression of the truth table of the sum and carry of a full adder. The same CMOS implementation of this is written over here, as we saw in the previous video, also in the textbook. Now this is handwritten. Can you see now this whatever output you're going to get using CMOS implementation is a inverting output. So here it is C0 bar. You pass it through an inverter so that you get C0. Of course, so the same C0 bar is used as one of the input for this particular sum expression, which is given over here. So sum is given by C0 bar into a plus b plus c in, which is over here, and it's PMOS representation or implementation is done here. This is pull down and pull up networks using N and PMOS respectively. Here also I'll get the sum bar. The complement of that is nothing but your sum. So this is the sum and carry implementation of a full adder. This is how you can think of having. You can see you have a scene here. This is A, B, and of course this is sum and carry. You can carefully notice here. So as we learned in the previous classes, any critical inputs have to be put very close to the output node. If you can see here, C in is a critical input which is coming from an external world, which is a carry from the previous stage, that is put closer to the output node so that you get the charging discharging can happen faster. Same thing is over here. The C in is put closer to the output node. Okay, that is one thing. Okay, why we are not putting C in down here, why C in is kept close to this is so as to minimize the time that is used to charge and discharge the load capacitor. Let us observe one interesting concept here. If you want to get sum bar, so if you want to get sum bar in terms of A, B, C, A, B and C in, so sum bar in terms of A, B, C in is nothing but sum with A bar, B bar, C bar. So what I want to say here is, if you want to get a sum bar, instead of getting sum from this and then complementing it, what you can do is you can get the sum from A bar, B bar, C bar. That will be exactly equal to sum bar. So to get a sum bar using this ABC in, I can get it using the sum of A bar, B bar and C in bar. So what I mean to say here is, if you are getting this as C in, if you are applying C in AB, and of course you'll be getting a sum and carry. Now if at all, if you are complementing the input here, you can see the difference between this and this is all the inputs are complemented. You can see you are inputting a C in bar, it's a bar, it's a C bar. What I will get is actually C out bar and sum bar. So because my inputs are complemented, as you can see here, the inputs are complemented. You are having A bar, B bar, C bar, then again A bar, B bar and then C in bar. If the inputs are complemented, whatever sum and carry you will get will be a complement of that. If you put one more bubble there, so it's actually the complement of carry bar, which will be now carry. Here you can see this, you can see there is a bubble here. So there is a bubble here. So this indicates that if you are applying an input voltage with bubbles, whatever sum and carry you'll get will be a complement of it. If you put one more complement, you'll get sum and carry. So let us try to understand, okay, why we are learning this particular, okay, applying a complementary input and try to get a complementary output, and then again complement to get the desired sum and carry. So now just carefully have a look at the implementation of 4-bit full adder. This is the 4-bit full adder what we learned in the previous case. You can see this is a very simple thing. You have a 4 full adders, so this is a 4-bit binary adder. So the input is seen 0, and of course we have A0 B0, A1 B1, A2 B2, and then A3 B3. These are the 2 inputs for the full adder, and the third input is coming from the scene of the previous stage, and of course this is the cout. We'll go to scene. So of course this is how we learned in the previous videos also. This is how we wrote it here. So I'm just rewriting the same thing. So this is what an implementation of 4-bit binary adder. We know that the worst possible delay is nothing but t sum plus n minus 1 times the t carry. So we have also seen that the bottleneck of this total adder delay is due to this t carry, because it is n minus 1 times t carry. If at all if you want to reduce, so you have to reduce this t carry. Let us carefully observe this implementation. Just have a look at this. See here, this is FA bar. So the representation of FA bar is of course, what is this FA? This FA is this entire circuit. Whatever circuit I have written, C0 bar plus this inverter, and then some bar with this inverter, is the entire FA. So when I say FA, it is all these transistors are involved in this realization, this FA. Whereas this FA bar is one such realization where you don't have an inverter in the carry path, because you can see this is the carry. This is the carry what you're going to get. FA bar will not have this. So what I'll do is I'll just simply strike out this. So this is not there in the FA bar implementation. FA bar will have only these many transistors along with this inverter, but you will not have this. Okay, let us have a look at this. See now, since this FA bar is not having a inverter in the last, since this inverter is not there, if I give the inputs like okay A0, B0, C0, if I give it, what I'll get sum is sum only, because I'm having this. So whatever I'll get, if I apply A, B, C in, the sum will be as it is. You can see, that's why I can see sum is as it is here. Sum is as it is, but the carry will be a inverted one, because you are taking the carry here. So that's why if you can just have a look at this, you are putting a bubble here. What does this bubble will do is, since you don't have this inverter, whatever you're going to get just before this inverter have to be inverted again, so that you get a carry, because this implementation is not having an inverter. Suppose if you take it here itself. So since if you take it here itself with FA bar, it will be a complement. So you complement it again, so that you'll get the carry output. So if you complement the FA bar carry, you'll get the actual carry, because FA bar carry is without this inverter. So you're actually measuring here. This is the FA. This is C out of FA dash. This is FA dash. If you want to get the actual C out, because this is actually C out bar, if you want to get the actual C out, you are supposed to put an inverter at the last stage. You can see here this one. So of course this is conceptually you have to put a inverter to get C out bar. So you may be just wondering, okay, what is the fun in taking out inverter and then putting an inverter at the output? So let us keep watching it. Come to this. So this is again FA bar. You can carefully observe, I'm applying the A and B inputs through an inverter. You can see there is an inverter here, there is an inverter here, and there is an inverter here. If you can carefully observe this, suppose if you are applying A bar, B bar, C in, what is the output of your sum here? Assume that you are not giving A, B, C. If you are giving A bar, B bar, C bar, and then if it is A bar, B bar, C bar, and what is this output? The output is actually a inversion of the sum. Can you see? Is this sum? Is it the inversion if the inputs are bubbled? if the inputs are bubbled, can you see there is a bubble here, there is a bubble here, there is a bubble here also. So now, since the output of this is a inversion of sum, I will put a bubble. So this, suppose if I say this as, so I will call this cell as even cell. This I will call it as even cell. This cell call it as odd cell. This cell again call it as even cell. This cell call it as odd cell, because it is A1, A3 is there. So this odd is coming because of this 3, and even is coming because you have 0, 2. Okay. This even cell, sorry, this is odd cell, this is even cell. I'm just writing cell matlab, okay, this FA bar. So now if you can carefully observe this, so this FA dash is actually the entire circuit without this. So can you say that FA bar with a bubble, is it not, suppose if I totally remove this for my odd cell implementation, can I remove this inverter as well as this inverter for FA dash? I can able to certainly remove these two inverters for my odd cell implementation. For even cell implementation, I'll remove only this. When I actually remove this inverter in the sum path, is it not exactly this S1 you're getting? Because you have complemented the input A and B, you have complemented this also. You can carefully observe here, I said it here, you're not supposed to use an inverter, and in order to get a carry, you actually put an inverter, and then you put one more inverter to invert it. So it is basically not at all putting, because there is no point in putting two inverters. Instead of putting two inverters, you can simply connect the output of this to this without any inverter. Of course, there is no point in putting this inverter and then again inverting. You are basically connecting this output directly to the input of the next stage, So these double complements can be eliminated, and you can simply connect a wire. So why we have said this is because this FA bar is without this. When you are, of course, since, okay, when I say what is this FA bar is the output of this and this. Suppose if I say this is FA bar carry, is it not the complement of this carry? Are you not getting complement? Is this S0 as it is? Suppose if you are writing it as S0 S1. So since if you want to get a C0, because you are writing C0 which is not a complement, so how do you get C0 from C0 bar? You have to double complement. Since there is an inverter, there is a C0 bar, how do you get C0? So you need to pass it through an inverter. But here you can see for next FA dash, that is for odd cell, you are complementing all the inputs. So while complementing all the inputs, okay, you have an inverter here, you are supposed to have an inverter here. Instead of having two inverters, you better not connect any inverter. So now you can see here we were actually getting S1. Can you see, are we getting S1 here? Because you have of course you are getting actually S1 bar. You are actually getting S1. Why you are getting S1 bar? Because you are complement the input A1 bar. Of course, this is A1 complement, B1 complement, and C complement. Since you are getting S1 bar here, how to get S1? You have to put one more inverter. Instead of getting one more inverter, you take the output from here, you say it as S1. So instead of putting a bubble here, in this full adder implementation, you don't have inverter for both sum as well as carry. Here there is no inverter for only carry path. Here again you say, so in carry path there is no, because FA dash indicates there is no inverter in the carry path. Of course, now you are trying to get what is the advantage of not having an inverter in the carry path, because I know that this output will be connected to next stage. So suppose if you are taking out the output from this point instead of this, instead from here, are you actually saving the delay of one inverter here? So are you actually reducing the T carry of this, because T carry is the time taken by this to this to give output voltage here. Suppose if you eliminate this, are you not saving? Suppose assume that if the carry, if the T carry time is equal to something like 10 nanosecond, if this is contributing 2 nanosecond, so if you take the output here instead of here, are you actually getting 8 nanosecond? 8 nanosecond is the time. Are you not saving 2 nanosecond for 1 T carry? If you are saving for 1 T carry, if you are saving 2 nanosecond, assume that you have n is equal to 100. Are you not saving huge time? So with this slight modification of representation or usage of instead of FA, if you use FA dash, you can able to save the time that is required to get the full adder output, because you are effectively reducing the T carry. So how you are effectively reducing T carry is in the carry path. In the carry path, there is no inverter. There is no inverter. You are simply taking this output and giving it to here, taking this output from the second full adder and giving it to Cin. So this is how it is happening. Of course, you may be just arguing that, okay, sir, there is an inverter here. Okay, will it not add the delay? No, since this is whenever these two are there, they will give the output, but they have to actually wait for this Cin to propagate. So that's why, even though you're introducing inverter over here for this two A1 and A3s, or A1 B1 and A3 B3, they will not actually increase the adder time. So adder time is effectively reduced compared to this, because you are eliminating 4 inverters in the carry path. You are actually eliminating 4 inverters in the carry path. So this way we can able to effectively reduce the value of T carry, so that your effective time required for the adder will be get reduced. Okay, hope you can able to understand this. It's actually the difference between FA and FA bar is, in FA bar I don't have any inverter in only the carry path. In only the carry path. Of course, you can see for alternate cells, I'm having a bubbled input, which is derived from this, of course, which is being verified here. If you want to get a sum bar output, only thing is that you have the sum output from A bar, B bar, Cin bar inputs. So which is true for your carry also. We will see some other type of implementation of adders, how to minimize the T overall time of the adder can be reduced by reducing the T carry time.